everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Turnovers will be a focus in today's game. The Ravens are top 10 in turnover differential, and they'll be up against the Redskins team that wants to be careful not to play into that strength. With that, we'll send it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. They've got the call in this Week 5 matchup.
Larry, we are coming to you from the heart of Baltimore, nestled between Russell Street and I-395. We're at M&T Bank Stadium. Today, we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the Washington Redskins and the Baltimore Ravens. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Redskins, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes that actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
Set to go now in what could be called the Battle of the Beltway. The Ravens and Redskins are underway. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. So out comes the Redskins offense now onto the field. And we get a glance here at their leader, the man who will be calling the plays under center. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Nick Perry from that outside linebacker spot. He's able to get in there for a loss of 9.
Now that was just absolutely perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. That's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
And the quarterback, he's got some big threats at wideout.
And they seem to get bigger all the time, don't they, Brandon? Every time I look out and watch a game, we're getting these bigger, more athletic, acrobatic receivers. We have some today.
I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long.
Here we go now. 3-19.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He's got time in the pocket. He's going to float this one deep right side. And it's knocked away and incomplete. He was trying to find Marvin Jones that time. And it's 4th down.
I know the initial focus was on how far that pass was downfield, but how about the coverage on the play? Able to stay with him, get his hands where the receiver's hands were going to try and catch the ball, tips it up in the air, and knocks it away.
On the return, it's Tate. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So here come the Ravens with their first look on offense. They'll be led out by a 2-time Pro Bowler in his 6th season. It's Andy Dalton.
And in 2015, prior to hurting his thumb and being unable to finish the season, you just heard his teammates rave about Andy Dalton's jump in leadership, where he actually took over the team, really assumed the role of being the starting quarterback, and carried himself that way as well.
And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Watch left, watch left, watch left. Stop right there. Hey, ready, 380.
They'll need to get the play off quickly. Throwing, Dalton, and he finds Danny Amendola. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. Well, we saw the practice film this week. They wanted to focus on these intermediate passing plays, and it paid off there.
And they took that focus not just to the practice field, but in the film room to show the guys exactly what they wanted, what types of looks they should expect to get, and how they would beat those coverages each and every time, and it paid off on that play.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Normally, that's not the down and distance that you call a draw play. You usually want to wait to second or third down with a definite passing situation before that play is dialed up.
2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead them to third down. And now a look at the Washington defense.
No surprise at all that a Penn State linebacker named Paul Posluszny usually leads his team in tackles.
And now on third down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. Third down, a shot here for Dalton. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that's going to make it fourth down. Now Jordan Berry on to kick this one away.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there, and they rallied and made the tackle.
And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down.
Let's go!
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Timing's crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down in bounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up fourth down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
With a juke. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And the Ravens, they'll take over. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time, which is punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, it's time for them to give them a rest. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Offense.
And that right there will set them back a bit on the offensive holding penalty.
And you know who you want to pressure after a penalty like that? The guy who just committed the foul. You want to see if he's going to keep his head down or if he's going to get his head right back into the game. I'd send a blitz at him right away and see if he holds up.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
One of the things that's really difficult for an offense is often identifying how to block a 3-4 defense. Well, when they're coming on a blitz, even more difficult. They're elusive targets and hard to hit.
And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
Back-to-back runs that were stacked up. Offensively, now you've got to think to yourself, do we change blocking assignments? Do we change formations? Do we change looks in order to try and get the running game going?
Finding time. He rifles one that's intercepted. And he will bring this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Redskins touchdown. They were in the dime. They had 6 defensive backs there. So go ahead and throw it. He threw it, and it hurt it.
It's almost thrown into a blanket of coverage, isn't it? You talk about the best defenders you have are the defensive backs. 6 of them on the field. You're almost asking for trouble, and that's exactly what they ran into. Ended up throwing a pick 6.
Yeah, 6 defenders and 6 points. Oh, what a move. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. They'll come out in the pistol. They go play action here on first down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The 4-time All-Pro, Navarro Bowman. Coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. At the end of 1, it's a close game here early on. We're back to Baltimore after this.
This presentation of the NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Snickers. You're off your game when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Second quarter now. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis with you. It's the Ravens who have the football, but they face a 2nd and long to start things out. And Dalton to throw. Surveying the field. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. Call it a gain of 5, and that'll make it 3rd and 13.
It's interesting because when I'm watching college football and I'm evaluating guys for the draft now, my list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks, it's a very short list. I'm probably evaluating more punters and kickers now than I am fullbacks. But it doesn't matter what you call a position, it's who you put there, and there we saw completion.
3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
That'll wind up being a 50-yard punt, though they do get 10 back on the return. And the Redskins will take possession with a 1st and 10. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a 2nd down. They send Green to the left on his own. Back to throw. Backing up. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Allen Bailey in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Now the Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd down.
Could be a blitzer.
Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. He's got time. Under pressure, they got him again. Nick Perry in there to drop him, and back-to-back sacks now bring up 4th and long. Here's Tressway now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now.
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
Here's McFadden as they begin on the ground. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed, and that's what we're seeing with the linebacker position. Those guys that can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
Play clock winding down. On 2nd down, McFadden. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Remain here in the first half. We're back to Baltimore after this. back now. As I search for my cue card here, there we go. Coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis from our first half of play.
Well read.
Thank you. On third down, McFadden. And he'll lose you. And now we're going to get a timeout called by the Redskin defense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is taken at the 23. He won't go down. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the... Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Nick Perry in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Sets up the screen to Gordon. Only a yard there. Sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up third.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed. But all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
And now the Raven defense going to call a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. Again, we'll see the pistol here.
380. 53, 53, check 53.
They start the drive with McFadden. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Corey Liggett makes the stop. So we've reached halftime with just the lone touchdown here. 7-0 is our score. As we'll send you down to Orlando, where Larry Ridley has our EA Sports halftime report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to our EA halftime report. I'm Larry Ridley. Both the Ravens and the Redskins haven't figured out yet how they're going to move the ball through the air. The defenses on both sides have kept points off the board, and it will be interesting to see if they can keep that up. All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Moving to late in the first quarter, the pass ends up being picked off. Redskins take advantage and return it for a TD. The Redskins up by a touchdown. Midway through the second quarter, will once again sack the QB. This ends up as a huge loss in yardage. They have it at the 44-yard line. Perry's going to push his way to the QB here. This ends up as a loss of 12. So that'll do it for us here in Orlando. For the call of the second half, let's hand it back over to Brandon and Charles. Brandon.
Fielded about a yard deep. And last year that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee, and that's at the 25. We focus our attention on the Redskins defense now. They don't want to change anything. They've got 0 points against them here, so I would imagine the halftime speech was do more of the same, right?
I think you're right, and it's where defensive coordinators have to walk that line of preparing for the adjustments you expect to come, but not taking away the aggressiveness you've already shown. And they've played so well, I think that's the speech. You nailed it. Just go out and do what you've been doing, and we'll adjust if we see anything different later.
To this point, they've been spectacular.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Dalton now to pass. And a hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested, and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
They'll run it. Here's McFadden. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
Another pistol look here. On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
And he still doesn't have a catch. We're into the second half. I think it's a little bit of a surprise to me, but that was one he should have caught.
Absolutely. That was his best opportunity right there. He dropped it.
Hey, we got 3 down, 3 down. Set, 380. 380.
Now a run with McFadden. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up. 2 yards to go here on 3rd down. The play clock's running down. Passing, it's Dalton, and he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. So here's the Redskins offense now as they get set to start this 3rd quarter. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
Then you've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Completing it here to Marvin Jones. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. And when your receiver is, say, 6'2" or taller, you get those big-body guys. They're made for those fades, aren't they?
They really are. It's the exact call you want. You nailed it. Big body guys, big catch radius. Put the ball up there. Put up on the top shelf where the kids can't go get it. One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one. Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
They send Green to the left on his own. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there? You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
And he will score. Touchdown, Washington. It's their quarterback. His first touchdown on the year. And the Redskins find a way to stretch their lead.
I think it's easy to say mission accomplished on that drive. The goal was to increase the lead. They did exactly that.
Now Janikowski following the score. He'll boot this one away. Danny Amendola on the return. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And a chance for us now to talk about Darren McFadden. And as the numbers show, he really wasn't in the mix at the beginning, but they've got him in the rotation now, and it's proved a good move.
And that's what happens when you're a good player. There's a lot more attention drawn to you, and it's obvious that they had him in their game plan on defense, not letting him get off to a good start, but he's found a way so far here in the second half.
It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Back now in Baltimore. It's the Ravens with possession of the football, but trailing on the big board as we get set for the fourth. It's second down. Dalton looking. It's caught. Spaeth. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. We've got a 3rd and 11. Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
He gets this away. It's a good one. Drawing toward the sidelines. There, this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. So out now come the Redskins. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. And the offense looks to pick up the first here on 3rd after that incompletion.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. He was looking for his favorite target, A.J. Green, that time. And it's 4th down.
On 3rd and 1, I think everyone in the stadium thought they'd try and run the football there, but they tried to surprise the defense and hit something through the air. Instead,
pressure comes and it's blocked. The Ravens block it. Now this is scooped up inside the 20.
And even before that play happened, you know that they were taking the long view on their sideline. Needed a big play on special teams, got to score on offense, and then they'll need another big play on special teams, probably an onside kick if they want to win this game.
Yeah, 2-score game, but that play right there kind of kept the door open, didn't it?
Yes, it did, and it's open enough that they definitely have hope. How many times when we see an incomplete pass, we just look at the receiver and say, should have caught that one. That was a drop, and we just put it on the offense. How about a little credit for the defense there? They just forced an incompletion.
Yeah, especially after starting in a tough spot defensively, but a good start there on 1st down.
That gave them a little extra confidence there, starting, as you said, in a tough spot and being able to make a play on 1st down.
And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
And counting the defense here, the Redskins have 6 defensive backs out there. Here's McFadden. McFadden loses the football. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
As they say, this game hasn't exactly been one for the books. I mean, we're into the 4th quarter here, and now this happens, another turnover. Not one that they're going to hold up and say, yeah, this has been a banger day.
Absolutely. Still sitting on 0. And Cook has it left side. That throw good for 4. It's second down. Certainly not the numbers that he was hoping for. Rough last week, rough again here.
And I've got to tell you, I'm surprised because I'm used to guys bouncing back from tough performances, but right now it appears he's in a little bit of a rut. So whoever the guy is on the team that he trusts the most, whether it's the coordinator, the quarterback's coach, one of his friends.
Pep talk?
Yeah, it's pep talk time. It's time to get into his head a little bit and try and see if he can get him straightened out. That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Going underneath for Gordon. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
No gain on the play there, second down. Continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
10 yards still left on second down. One man on the backfield is Gordon. And he'll get it up the middle. And nowhere for him to go again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. And now the Raven defense going to call a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. And defensively, it's a nickel formation here on third down and 9. Gordon. So he got free of 1. And now the Ravens are going to take another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that, because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. So Dalton now. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry up. Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. He's got time in the pocket. To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were. This will be Dalton again. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it 3rd down. Short play like that in this situation this late, that's a win for the defense.
No doubt. And I remember something Coach Madden used to talk about all the time. Sometimes you can't just take what the defense gives you. You have to take what you need. And in this case, the offense is taking what the defense is giving them, not what they need.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Here's the option going right. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that'll be just about all she wrote for this one. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, slim.
And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. The Redskins, they can smell victory now. They take a knee.
I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they even let you play.
Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. The storyline of this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column too.
So for Washington, they move back over 500 at 3-2 now on the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. From Baltimore, so long, everybody.